Hello, this Learn to Learn Study Coach video discusses the importance of taking good notes. You ever wonder why you should take good notes? This graph is a prime example why it's so important to take good notes. Let's take some time and look at this graph. What this graph tells us is our retention is over here on the vertical axis and time on the horizontal axis. Let's say we're learning some new information. We're attending a class, attending a seminar. Initially, we have all that information. But as you can see, if we make no effort to retain that information, we very quickly start losing that information. With 1 hour, we're down to retaining only about half of that information. Within a day, we've already lost about 2/3 of that information, and we only remember about 1/3 of it. Within a month, we're down to about 1/5 or 20% of that information. That's not very good, especially from a study standpoint or school standpoint. The only way we can maintain or combat this curve is if we study. And as we've learned through some other videos, the best way for us to study is use some very short study sessions distributed over multiple days. What do we study? The best thing for us usually to study are our notes. So if we've taken good notes and then we study them periodically over multiple days, we combat the blue line and brought our retention up to this yellow line. What type of notes should we take? There are different theories on the different types of notes that you can take. For example, Cornell has their note-taking techniques, and if you're interested in the Cornell note-taking techniques, highly recommend that you just Google it, and there's a lot of information on the web on the Cornell technique, which I find the simplest technique is the outline technique. And I will either use bullet statements, use indentions like this, and go ahead and write my notes just like this. Very short statements with some headers, and that's how I capture my notes, and it's usually fairly effective. Another technique I use is I'll go ahead and record a lesson, and then from the recordings, transcribe my recordings into notes. What you want to do as a student is copy down everything that your instructor puts down on the board. It's also good at times to go ahead and take your notes, your initial notes, and copy them over. And this way, any mistakes you've made or any additional information, you can reorganize your notes. Don't worry about writing complete sentences when you're taking notes. On the same token, if you have misspellings, so be it. Those notes are for you. Don't worry about it. Graphs and charts just like this are excellent to include in your notes, and 3x5 cards are also a great place to have your notes so you can carry them around and study them at any time. What do some colleges say about notes? Princeton University tells us to take clear, effective notes and review our notes within 24 hours after taking them. And we saw that 24-hour period is so crucial. If you can review your notes within 24 hours, you're going to increase your retention. Penn State, would they tell us what to write down from the speaker? Anything he repeats as an item, anytime he makes direct reference to a book, whenever they're giving examples. Once again, write anything that they put on the board or an overhead, and anytime he asks or she asks if everyone understands, then they're emphasizing that's important. Christopher Newport University, they tell us, write notes in your own words. You don't have to use the teacher's words, put them down into your own words so it makes sense to you. And then Maryland Community College, study begins on the first day of class. Read and review your notes before each class to recall information. Review your notes immediately after each class to reinforce learning or within 24 hours. Once again, we see where that 24 hours is so important. That takes us to the tip of this video, and take good notes. We hope the Study Coach video was beneficial, and please contact Learn to Learn if you have any questions, comments, or need additional information. Thank you.